Guess who's back?
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I saw this. I thought, oh, balls.
This dropped.
I haven't
I
seen
saw
this.
it today. I don't know when this dropped. I'm gonna guess sometime this week. But Mark Hamill went on
Yeah, it's got to be fairly
somebody's.
fresh. Yeah.
Mark Hamill went on somebody's thing. But real quick, Crunchy Beaver for $50, getting us closer to that Christmas tour. Getting us closer. Thank you, Crunchy Beaver. 3 more. Merry Christmas, everyone. I've looked at the movie release schedule for the next year. I will see Homestead. Actually, that looks great. I watched a clip from that today. Den of Thieves 2, and maybe Nosferatu in theaters. But that's it until Mission Impossible. Except for those Hollywood can pound Diddy tail. Yeah, Den of Thieves 2, I'm not sure about yet, but Nosferatu for sure. And Homestead, that movie looks good. Did you guys see that? There's a clip. I guess it's about our grid going down.
I haven't seen it.
So it's like what happens if the...
That's the Angel Studios joint, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a clip from it today. It looks great. It's basically, from what I gathered, it's about our grid going down, which if you don't know, could very easily happen, especially if we got hit by a sun flare, like our grid would go down. So
That is
and we'd be so fucked if that happened tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting into this when I was talking about the Mad Max stuff, because everybody's like, I don't think we'd go that bad so fast, because somebody's trying to make the argument that it's a different guy in every Mad Max.
We would go
like,
into the dark ages.
We would go pretty quick, because he's like, well, I don't believe that, because they were like pretty normal in the first movie for the most part, and then all of a sudden it's like post-apocalyptic. I'm like, not even 4 years ago, people were killing each other over toilet paper.
Yep.
Everything hit the fan tomorrow. Oh man,
well, have you seen? So if like
no, I'm so on board with what Tom is saying. It does not take much of a push for people.
No,
to
you're
lose
right.
All their civility, and as soon as you take food away, and people are fighting over it, and is that all starving?
In the cities, they'll start eating each other.
Yep.
There's like some study or something that looked at it, basically said that if shit hit the fan and our power went down and food ran out, people would start eating each other. Like they would kill each other to eat them. Like that's how I think our society would go to the shitter.
If you're already on the verge of that type of stuff, when you look at some of the most crime-ridden places around, it's just law of the jungle in their mind, and that's in the current civilized era where the police are supposedly around.
And what's funny about that? No, go ahead, Sad. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying, take that away, and things will absolutely go to hell.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, look at how, like, just the fact that, first of all, people aren't even thinking about, sure, okay, everything shuts down. Sure, we may have some gas and water left over in certain places, but how the fuck are you going to get them anywhere? Not only that, and if everybody's fighting over everything, how is there any structure to anything? Within weeks to months, everything would have broken down. The only people who would still be, like, living semi-normal lives are probably people up in the Midwest, up where I live, where they're, your neighbor's so far away that unless they show up in the middle of the night and you just shoot them, like what else is going to happen there? I mean, but you're right. In the big cities, they're going to tear each other apart. It would be like,
I would be okay for a minute. I've actually stocked up a nice little bit of food, like canned.
But people would have coming after it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Over here in Alberta, I'd go to Banff where it's nice and cold up there in the mountains.
I've got enough where I could last like 2 months.
You better hope you're far enough away.
If it ended up anything like
Tom, I got plenty of security. Fucking
I hope
house.
so.
If it ends up anything like Mad Max, I'm just going to make sure that I'm standing on the top of a moving truck while playing a guitar with flames, wasting fuel.
That's not how the post-apocalypse works, Rhino.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to waste fuel. I'm just going to waste it playing the fire guitar.
Thanks, Robert. Robert Pennington said if the apocalypse happened, he'll donate his body to my fridge. Look, I'm not above cannibalism.
Well, I hope it don't go that far.
If
that
shit hit
fast,
the fans and I need to eat, I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna eat you.
Damn.
At least I'm in a place where there's plenty of cows and deer.
Well, I'm gonna try to eat all them first, but
Flash is gonna be like in Book of Eli, the house that they end up with the 2 people that just eat people inside it, the 2 old people. That's gonna be Flash.
Do you remember? Did anybody play Fallout 3? Do you remember? There was like a cannibal family.
Yep.
You just randomly found them in a.
That's the best part of that game, for me.
Yeah,
that's what I remember the most. You end up at all these houses, and there's no
Yeah.
family except for this one family, little white picket fence, and the kids are playing, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And you're talking to them, and then you don't even have to find out. But if you go into the basement of that family's home, you end up finding like they just have bodies that they're just eating. And I don't think the kids even know. They're just like oblivious to it, and then the parents are just cannibals.
Yeah, you had to
And they're just
break into
feeding
their
kids to keep them
their
alive.
shed. If you
Yeah.
broke into their shed,
I remember what I did in that game is I shot the parents and I left the kids alone. I was like, your parents are monsters.
you
I
left
just
them
like blasted them away and I left.
You left them
Whatever,
to
fuck
die.
them.
Look,
I blew up
somebody needs to
Megaton too,
feed
so I
them
don't care.
human sandwiches. All right, let's listen to
That is
Mark
so
here.
messed up,
Mark's still very upset about Trump,
God.
and he basically says, "If you're MAGA, off."
I never, like you, to your question, I never
By the way, I'm going to guess the question he was asked because I don't know where this is from. It's probably why are you so political?
became active until wanting to make sure that, first of all, I was devastated. I want to get rid of the Electoral College because Hillary beat him by 3 million votes, just a shy under 3 million. And Gore beat W by 500,000. And it was making me crazy because I started reading about the Electoral College. And, oh my God, this is a remnants of slave days when they were trying to, proportion the amount of votes with, how many slaves you owned. And oh, it was awful. But anyway, so that and Citizens United, I'd like to get rid of. But in any case,
does he sound like he had a stroke or something?
I started.
I don't know.
It's
Mark's-
probably drugs.
Something. Too
I
many
think he might have got
vaccines,
hit in the
maybe?
head, maybe fell down the stairs or something.
Possible accident. There you go.
Yeah.
He hit the drugs hard after Trump got elected. That's what he did.
Yeah. He's probably wine drunk.
As you said, you get most scorching hate tweets from the MAGA crowd. And when I was still on Twitter, I had to stop reading the responses. I wouldn't block anyone.
Because if it was the
then
other
they
way
could
around,
display-
you would have been in everybody's fuck faces, just
Exactly.
like they are in your fucking
Oh, yeah.
face. Get the out of here, Mark. You would have done the same thing if Kamala Harris had got elected. Just
No,
the
you're
vice
right. Is
versa.
that Gavin
Get the
Newsom?
fuck out.
Yeah, that's Gavin Newsom. And
Oh, that he's
Marshawn Lynch, and I don't know who the other guy is.
Oh man.
Like,
weird combo.
Yeah.
Hamill blocked you as a badge of honor, but I muted like a mofo. I would mute, I looked up one day and I thought,
Pussy.
oh my God, I've been
Fucking
muting
pussy. Fucking
Listen to
pussy.
this. No, hold on. Now he starts talking about how he spent 40 minutes muting people.
people for 40
He's a big
minutes.
ass pussy.
So once I realized how it was eating into my own
Best
time,
part is he's
I
talking
said,
about
the only
us.
thing to do is don't
I know.
read the response.
Yes.
You just
No.
can't. You can't. And someone said to me, my daughter would say, Daddy, you shouldn't tweet politically so much because, people get so
Your
angry.
kid's smarter than you.
I
Your
know.
kid is
Take her
smarter than
advice.
you, Mark.
It's true.
Even they can see that it's bad.
Yeah, they can tell you're retarded, Mark.
So I wrote a tweet that I said, the people complaining about my Trump tweets have to
My
understand.
daughter told
Why
me
is
not to
this-
send a tweet, so I sent a tweet.
See how his eyes like half closed?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
he's-
saying. I think he had a stroke. I wasn't
No.
kidding.
I think he's just really stoned.
No, the way he's talking is not just stone, brother. You should know that.
Oh, 100%. He's not just stoned. He's definitely
I
on
know.
something else.
Stand.
But I don't think alcohol would perk
Look at
him
his
up.
eye. One eye.
Yeah.
is
No,
like-
I think he had
one's
a
way-
accident.
oh.
I'm not kidding.
I think you might be right, Tom.
I think,
Ah.
yeah, maybe, Tom.
Oh, I think you might be onto something.
It
There.
was his 100th booster that did it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a vaccine injury.
I like to
I
call them
love my
accidents.
country, and I feel it's my patriotic duty to oppose.
I've never known his eye really is half closed.
Yeah, his
this
eye is
whole
half
video.
Yeah, he's got a lazy
He
eye.
probably did have a stroke or something. I'm
wasn't
not trying to
kidding
be
when I said
mean
that.
here. Like this would explain a lot. This would explain a lot.
This sociopathic, I forget the other word, whatever it was,
He just
with
fucked that
every
up.
fiber of my being.
Slurred it.
And
Here it
that's
is.
the way I've been. I
was about to
thought,
say,
I
who
mean,
cares if I lose
I do
jobs?
feel it's an obligation. And who cares about your career? People say, oh, well, it's hurting your career because you have to appeal to the whole country, not just half the country or 40%.
What do you mean?
Or what?
What do you mean? You've had the right side of the politics when it comes to Hollywood and all of that kind of shit forever. What are you talking about? You're putting what you feel like you're putting the job on your job on the line, whichever job you've got now, Mark. Do you really feel like you're putting your job on the line by coming out there and advocating for Kamala Harris, for promoting Kamala Harris? Bullshit. That would have, if anything, got you more work, but you're so shit and untalented that nobody wanted you anyway. Like, it's, oh man, it's so
I mean,
stupid.
He's obviously the positions that he had politically is, I mean, it's locked in. He's good. He's going to be fine with that. But these guys do live in a bubble, and they're under the impression that somehow, I guess, there's sort of equal kind of footing here with, hey man, you got to appeal to everybody. No, not for your jobs. You don't. They'll give you the job. There's no shortage of Trump haters, let's say leftist haters, whatever you want to call them in Hollywood. So yeah, that's just a completely nonsensical point. He's going to be fine. It reminds me of what's the homie that played Finn in Star Wars?
John Boyega.
Yeah, he was going on about that. The similar thing was like, hey, going out here and screaming BLM or whatever the hell he was, this might cost me my career or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not going to happen. You're going to be fine. All you guys are going to be perfectly fine. You're going to be okay there. But if it was a sensible place, you would be. It's not necessarily about hiring people that are like run of the mill or centrist or anything. The difference between like Mark and just a regular person is that Mark is so vocal about his beliefs as far as antagonizing people that are Trump supporters or whatever. That's his.
If anything,
problem,
he
right?
feels like sounding off like that is going to get him more work in Hollywood.
Well,
At least
that's
it
what.
used to be
But
the
what
case.
he's saying is like it's the opposite. Or he's like who cares
Well,
about?
yeah, that's the way they're presenting it, but
right,
they're full of
which
shit.
is retarded, right? It's completely full of shit. He doesn't have to worry about that. But if Hollywood was a sensible place, they would bring people in. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle that you're on, but you can at least have some bit of self-awareness and largely leave that stuff out the door, especially when you're like promoting some big movie. But these guys are incapable of doing that now, especially around election time.
You think because he looks at Trump and thinks like, oh, he is Hitler. He's gonna he now I have a target on my back, and that's why he thinks that way.
Maybe these guys. You always have to understand that these guys are also delusional, right? So where it could be a little bit of both. Maybe it's some incompetence there, and they're stupid, but they're also like delusional. If you talk to some of these guys, they actually believe that they're not part of some like hive mind of leftism. They believe that the right wingers are out to get them and they're amongst them and all that. So he very well could actually believe that somehow him being against Trump, who is now the president, is going to cost your career or something like that. He might be that stupid.
But the thing is he's that stupid that he thinks even just people saying shit, calling him out on Twitter are those attacks. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's saying that, it's unfair. But my point is, Mark, if it was the other way around, you'd be in people's faces doing the exact same thing. So don't.
Well, he was celebrating on the day of, up until the day. Remember, he went missing there for a little bit after the L became obvious.
He bounced after the election.
Right.
In fact, he stayed silent for like a week.
That's what I was saying. Like we were all, it was a mark. We were all looking for him. Like it was a mark alert out. Like, we were all, I remember us covering it on our shows. Like, when is he going to say something? Because he went into that day uber confident and really cocky, like so many of them had. And they ended up with egg on their face.
I remember
see.
Jeremy, who is a homosexual.
Yes, he is.
Said
absolutely.
He was like, I'm just waiting for Mark to change his banner. And then like the next day he changed it.
Oh, that's right.
That's so good.
Whatever the MAGA crowd is. But I said in the grander scheme of things, who cares if I lose a part in the movie because I hate the orange atrocity?
Nobody.
I want people to know
it's
that.
never gonna happen, man. Like you're not under any sort of threat to lose any movie role for despising Trump. Like there's no shortage of you guys. It's almost like you expect it. Yeah, like anybody, like that's just completely delusional.
It's the complete opposite to Zachary Levi for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah, no, we already seen what happens between the Zachary Levi's and obviously what Gina Carano's got going on now as well. Like it's you think opposite of them. That's what actually risks your career, not being in opposition to Trump. There's no shortage of that. That's just a crazy thing. But yeah, he might be dumb. He might just be completely stupid and believes that might happen. He might just be lying. It could be a little bit of both. Who knows?
Well, if you lie to if you're constantly telling lies, eventually you're going to start believing.
Yeah, you start believing that stuff. That's how it works. That's true. Yeah.
Well, I love how Mark Hamill acts like he works more than once every 5 years.
Yeah, what is he? He doesn't even
He,
do
and this is
anything
what I
other
got
than
in that
voice
argument with
Joker
people
once in a
before
while.
too. Is like, yeah, he doesn't do anything. He never really was anything. He was one of the few people out of Star Wars who didn't really get a career. Right? He had a few things. He had a nice.
Not like in live
career.
action stuff. Obviously, the Joker shit was pretty. And the voice
acting is fine. But other than that, he'd pop up in a movie here and there in some bit role, like the Village of the Damned. He played the priest in that, and here and there he'd do the
Whoa, he
like
played
that.
the trickster in the '90s Flash. I mean, that's
what I'm saying. He would pop up here and there, but he's never been this consistent actor.
I know.
Is that Endymion as Green Lantern?
Yeah,
that's Guy Gardner.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's Tom. That's Tom.
There's Tom as Lex Luthor.
Of course, I am.
And then there's Rhino.
I need a phone.
Damien looks the best.
That
that's
fits
so funny.
too well. That's
It
too
does.
scary.
Really
Well.
Am I tagged in that? I am, dude. I'm retweeting that. Shit
I could actually
anytime
see
now.
Endymion getting that haircut.
I just gotta push my hair down, maybe in
I gotta say, man,
there's gel in it, so I can't do it right now. But yeah,
I get they're
probably
going they're going for the comic accurate look with that haircut, but holy shit, that looks awful.
He does.
I like it actually. 'Cause
Wait,
I never
what's
thought
his
we'd
name?
see Guy
Well, you
Gardner
can't
in a
find
live
out,
action movie.
Yeah, I like
I
Guy
just
Gardner,
retweet
but
that
man, this just does not look good in live action.
I mean, I've
Well,
seen
well,
other
fucking
stills
hilarious.
from
That's
him.
I just think it was the wrong
It doesn't
actor.
look like that.
I think it's the wrong. It has less to do with the bowl cut and all that shit. I think that's look. If you were going for accurate, you make his hair just a little redder. He's fine, but I think they just picked the wrong guy to play them. And I said that when we first heard about the cast.
all I'm seeing is that I'm worthy of the Green Lantern ring, so I'm happy. I'm okay with it. I'll take the haircut
I'm
if I get the ring.
Superman.
I don't
I'm
care.
happy with that.
I don't think his
No,
hair
I don't
looks like
care.
that
Get the
throughout
ring.
the whole movie.
Rhino,
On the verge of death. The only
Rhino,
way to be saved
Yeah.
is by your dog coming to drag your useless corpse across the
Well,
snow.
at least it's a dog.
Rhino. Here's my Christmas gift to you.
Oh
I'm gonna
no.
talk a little Star Wars.
Oh, before you do that, I was gonna say,
no.
since he just said the thing about crypto, you should show this real quick, Flash.
What? Oh, I see it.
Yeah. At least it wasn't a cat, because if it was a cat, he'd be dead.
Oh.
and I know before anybody says shit, be like, okay, yeah, the snow would preserve him. The cat ate him after he died. Remember
That's true.
that. That's what happened.
And the cat would be able to do it too because he's a Kryptonian cat.
He's just waiting.
Yeah, it'd be able to eat him really quick too.
Yeah.
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 A couple things. One, Skeleton Crew. Nobody's watching it.
Oh, before you start, I gotta get going.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
Bye, Stephanie.
Merry Christmas, Steph. If we don't
Yeah,
see you
Merry
before
Merry
that.
Christmas,
Christmas.
everybody.
Merry
Merry Christmas,
Christmas.
chat. Merry Christmas, Flash, and
Merry
everybody.
Christmas to you.
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
So is this the article where they said nobody was watching the show? Somebody
No,
from
I just pulled
exec-
this one up because it's funny because it rips on. I don't know what he got this from.
Oh, okay. So this looks like this is that.
It's from the Hollywood Reporter.
Hollywood Reporter thing. That's what I was wondering because there's also one that's out there where some exec
I did a
said
video
that
on
nobody
it,
watched the show. Yeah.
which is double speak. Yeah, he's like, we're actually satisfied with the Acolytes ratings. And then Skeleton Crew, he said the same thing. And it's like, well, if you were that satisfied, then why isn't there a second season coming?
Well, also too, Skeleton Crew that hasn't even hit top 10 anything.
No, it has not made the original streaming chart for the entire time it's been out. And I find that funny because Acolyte hit it and then it dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like, this tells me no one's talking about it. And what's funny is without the controversy, what do? Like, remember the Acolyte? They're calling everybody racist. No one's making funny videos about Skeleton Crew. They're just like, that's fine.
Apathy's the worst, man. Like that's the thing you don't want as a company, especially in their position. It's just straight apathy where people just don't care, man. Like they're in a terrible spot right now.
Yep.
Well, the only people that are watching it are the Acolyte shills, really, like the new audience that they've culminated, the ones that like the throbbing lightsaber at his throat, the ones that the shippers, the LGBTQs, the pronoun people on Twitter, that's the new audience that they've culminated. It's so small and such a minority of a fandom that the original fans don't care about. So the only reason why the original fans of actual Star Wars came back to watch Acolyte was because it had Leslie Headland involved and because of how it was being promoted. They wanted to see a train wreck and they knew it was coming. It's like if somebody tells you, oh, there's going to be, this event happens right at this time and it's some amazing thing that happens, you know that you're going to be there. You knew that the Acolyte was going to be
Ryan's
shit.
not wrong because you had Chris and other people who had seen the show ahead of time said,
Third
it's going to go
episode.
off the rails.
Yeah, they said episode number 3.
And that was the most watched episode.
Yep.
You even have Hollywood pretty much turning on Kathleen Kennedy. Like this, what really blew me away about this little piece here was how they say that she's a failure. And how is she still kept one of Hollywood's top jobs? The rest of us can only dream of failing so successfully.
But that's what, it's hilarious coming from the Hollywood Reporter though. Now, it's like they're way too late on this. But that's why she had maintained her status, and others like her as well. It's because so many people have been carrying water for and then gaslighting anybody, right? As
including
fans,
the Hollywood Reporter, Reporter.
That's the point that I'm making. Yeah. Like it was them. It was the Access Media.
Didn't the Hollywood Reporter put out the Gina Carano firing, or was it Deadline?
I can't remember. They all run together, man.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But they were out there protecting her.
You're not kidding because half of them are the same company.
Is that they were out there protecting her, and now they're coming out and shitting all over her with something like this. But we on this panel and many others out there, Gary, Ryan, everybody out there has been saying this for years. Like what? It would be ever since The Last Jedi, at least, if not some of them even longer.
Well,
and we were toxic bigots for saying so as well.
Exactly.
This is where we've been saying we're starting to see the turn in the tide a little bit, right? Because they can't keep lying to themselves. They can't keep lying for the studios. The fact that Trump won, so much of the vote this last time out, that's where things have really swung around. Because we keep bringing up Zachary Levi. Guess what? He was on that actors on actors thing that Variety did. Do you think he would have been had Biden won the election? I guarantee you he wouldn't.
Your mic's too sensitive.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
Hey. But with something like this, now I can't remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Why is there two that Star Wars girls?
Rhino's breath
and it came in,
and we're talking about Star Wars.
No, we can hope is they keep coming out against Kathleen Kennedy, because otherwise, this is what I've been trying to tell people. She doesn't have to have anything on anybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to have dirt or any videos or any blackmail. She's Kathleen Kennedy. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful producer of all time. Not the most successful female producer. She's just the most successful producer of all time. Yeah, because she's produced all of Spielberg's movies and Robert Zemeckis's and pretty much anybody that she's been involved with. That's it's all these men that made these great movies throughout the 80s and 90s. She's just been on the
coattails of people that are talented. That's all it is. She's been on the coattails.
And so she's got the credits for it, and now she's got the respect and power in Hollywood, but it's her star is starting to fade, and I say good. And one of the biggest kick to her nuts was that South Park episode, because that's what really put her name in everybody's mouth, because before that, nobody knew who she was.
She hated that.
Yeah.
But this is the point. Sorry, this was the point that I wanted to make before, is that even if Kathleen Kennedy, let's say, was to get fired, what she has culminated at Lucasfilm, like the employees and the people around her and the writing rooms and all that, there's so many activists in there. It's got to be like it has to be a clean out. It has to be for anything to actually happen with Star Wars. If it was to even come back,
I don't care if they do.
I don't think that there's any hope. I honestly don't
if they do. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. The only Star Wars I care about now is Jedi Survivor. Like those games, that's all I give a shit about. Everything else I don't care.
But what can they do? They've destroyed. I mean, you can't go back and redo Luke, Leia, and Han now.
No.
So what are they going to do? Like
the only way that they could try and make something work would be to decanonize everything that they've actually done, reinstate the EU, basically start adapting those stories, and to do the Han, Luke, and Leia stuff, anything involving
They'd have to
them,
recast.
no, you could either do a recast or you could do animated. You could do as long as you're adapting the source material well enough. I feel like animated movies could work with a sort of in between bit, and then maybe recast as maybe a bit older, going into like Jaina and Jason Solo and stuff like that, and then casting those is easy because they're new casts.
I don't know, man.
Right?
I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. Like all of it's so
Neither do
dead.
I.
No, I
now.
agree. It's done.
Like,
I
it's
like
just-
dunking
it's
on them when they have low ratings. Like I've
Yeah,
actually
but,
made
like,
Star Wars videos on
I
Skeleton
can
Crew.
tell, like, even when I make Star Wars videos, like, which is very rare these days, but whenever I do, like, they don't even like do well really, because like the apathy set in. Like,
nobody really cares. But they do turn up if you.
Whatever.
I mean, if it takes a giant shit like Skeleton Crew, is an embarrassment because no one's watching it, and I don't really hear anybody saying anything bad about for the ones that are paying attention and reviewing
Apathy.
it.
That's what you're describing. It's apathy, and like, look, it's not to say that you just want people to despise you. Obviously, that's not the goal there.
Yeah.
But at least when you have that, definitely with a brand like Star Wars, people are often pissed off because they at least are invested in the brand still, right?
Yeah.
So when they see something like The Last Jedi or whatever it is, they're angry because they are fans, right?
Mhm.
When you got something like Skeleton Crew where you're in this kind of weird spot where it's like whether it's good or bad, nobody knows because nobody cares, right? And nobody gives a shit about it. And that's the worst spot that you want to be as definitely a mega corporation with an entity that is supposed to be as massive as Star Wars, where people just don't give a shit. Like they just literally don't. They know it's there and they're going out. It's not even that they're going out of their way to not watch it. It's that they just don't care. It's like, oh yeah, that's happening. I almost forgot about it. That's a bad spot, man.
Well, that's why I sort of believe that this year is the true year that Star Wars like really truly died, because it's funny to see what's actually happened. You know, with all the Disney Plus shows that they've come out with, people have been shitting all over them. You had Obi-Wan Kenobi, you had Boba Fett, you had season 3 of Mandalorian. I would argue that there were even some people out there on season 1 and 2. But then when it came to the Acolyte and people like watched it, they were already in a thing where Star Wars is already dead in a lot of people's eyes, but they came back to see just like what this thing was. And then they come out with Skeleton Crew, and Skeleton Crew performs even worse. This is Star Wars, guys. Go back to prior to George Lucas selling Star Wars. You had a Star Wars show, let's say even just a streaming service that took on Star Wars shows, and you were releasing them, and Star Wars was in a good place. You think Skeleton Crew wouldn't be in the ratings, even as a kid's show? I'm telling you.
I don't know, because Disney is showing time and time again, they just do not understand Star Wars, and they never have,
Disney,
right?
100%.
Because it's a kid's show. All the major fans of Star Wars, they want to see, Luke, Han, and Leia, the core of it. And if not that, they want to see Jedi, right? They want to see what they identify and love about Star Wars for the most part. This is why I think Andor also did really bad, because arguably, I didn't like Andor, but arguably it was one of the best made things Disney has made. But no one gave a crap because it doesn't have the things that people most predominantly love about Star Wars. Where are the lightsabers? Where are the Jedi? And then with Skeleton Crew, it's a kids show without Jedi. It's like, why are you even making Star Wars?
Isn't Judd Law a Jedi?
Well, no.
Yeah, Jude Law is a Jedi. You see it in the first.
Well, he has said that he never actually said that he was a Jedi. They assume that he was, but he can use the Force.
So unless he is a Jedi then, or at least a Padawan or something.
Still doesn't look much like Star Wars.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I remember I haven't watched it, but we did watch that preview on the channel. On a FlashCast a long time ago, and the houses look like a modern Earth.
That's the dumbest part. It looks like the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 world.
Yes.
Where all the animal people
Counter
live.
Earth.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, looked like Counter Earth.
The problem is because I talked to people who are working on the Star Wars Eclipse game, which is coming out in a few years. And they told me basically that it's a goddamn nightmare working with Disney. And that basically Disney has this obviously this council, if you will, that apparently if you talk to these people on a micro level, they actually do agree low key that a lot of the shit Disney pushes is insane, but they want to keep their jobs, so they push it anyway. What I'm told basically is that there's no saving Star Wars. Everything else Disney has.
That's
I
not
see that.
unique. That's
not
not
Star Wars.
unique. That's not unique to Disney though. Like Marvel. So if you remember that, what was that? It was Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. Remember that game? And it is a shit show. But they came out. Capcom came out and talked about like Marvel was pushing on them who they can and can't use and what they can and can't do. Like that's the reason. Like I don't think Cyclops was in it, and they made them put Captain Marvel proper in the game.
Of course they did.
And a couple of other things. Like they dictate. Like that's the same with any companies. They dictate what their characters can and can't do.
This is funny because I'm actually a fan of the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
I am too, but Infinite is trash.
I literally never heard of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I had no idea.
You didn't know that
existed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the last one they did.
Where did that come from?
It killed the franchise.
Actually,
It's
just recently, another YouTuber named Maximilian Dude, he made a mod with like a team of 40 people that basically like revamped
Infinite
Capcom
Beyond.
Infinite.
Yeah,
Yeah. You can actually play that trailer if you want. That'd be fine. But that's actually like a free mod that he worked on for about a year that actually allegedly like fixes the game. I don't own that game, so I wouldn't play it anyway. But if you have it on Steam, for example, you can download that mod right now, and apparently it makes the game much better. It has like new skins and new music, and like stages are fixed and all that shit. But I mean, yeah, working with Disney is just an absolute nightmare from what I'm told. But Star Wars is apparently the most egregious one. That's the one that's the worst. And the people that I talked to that I said that worked on Eclipse, they were being told by Disney, like, this scene has to have aliens that are non-binary. Like, literally, that's what they were demanding. Like, you have to have aliens in Eclipse that are wearing non-gendered clothing. And if they don't wear non-gendered clothing, we can basically pull this game and you, like, lose all your money, basically, and the game won't come out. And that's just, like, from what I understand, what I've been told about Eclipse, at least, like, it's a nightmare working with Disney on anything.
Well,
Absolute
based on
nightmare.
everything that comes out from Lucasfilm, Star Wars, anything like that, it seems like it's a disaster working on any project, to be honest with you.